All right, we have the Accursed Asylum 9-hole cup. Another tournament. Of course, we have another tournament. The 9-hole cup. I haven't played it all this week. I did play, one of my viewers asked me to play some the checkpoint challenge, and I did play 15 matches in the checkpoint challenge, but been kind of busy. Haven't really playing that much, but here we go. And I looked at these holes the other day, so I'm not sure what course this is, because like I kind of remember this hole, but like what course is this in? It says Phantom Mansion, but this is in a, and so there were several of the holes that I was looking at the pictures and I was like, fuck, I don't even remember that hole, but I'm sure it's one of those things once I get out there. If I'm just going to go play around and see what happens when I play it, but I'm pretty sure we're hitting up into this area. I think it's one of those deals, if you bring out one of the top swing boost balls, if we've got the right kind of wind, you can get way up in there. And if I remember correctly, I think if you bring the right club, there might be a rough bump on the second shot. Maybe. I'm just going to go out there and practice it today. So we'll just take a couple. Let me set up. My bags are so screwed up from the last tournament that I want to make sure I got them all set up. And that bag's good. That bag right there, I'm going to switch that up for a sniper. But I do want to take a Guardian in some bag. I'm going to use this as my utility type bag. I can use that. Let me switch that one out to a Grizzly. I'll switch that out to a Kingfisher. I've switched from the Hornet in my odd account to a Thorn because I don't have a level 7 Kingfisher, and it's a toss-up between. I mean, both these clubs both have great ball guide. You get more backspin obviously with the Thorn. The accuracy numbers on the Kingfisher, it always hits really good for me, but the Thorn, if like playing in the higher tours where the wind is higher, it's definitely easier to make wind adjustments with the Thorn at the like 1.9 per ring. Much easier than the 1.1. Alright, that should work. We'll start off with a Titan. We're playing in a tournament, so we don't play with big balls usually in one-on-one, but we're in tournaments, so let's make it a little easier on ourselves. Hole number 1. Here we roll. Damn it, I missed it. It's 10-11. My sister and I, so when my sisters are 10 and 12 years younger than me, I have numerous step siblings. The rock. Man, we don't even have to bring out a big ball to get up into that area. We might be able to actually get over it if we brought out the right stuff. And get down off that hill. Give myself a little bit of room to put just a titch of curl. I could hit it straight right there. 3-7. It's 2.1 per ring. I'm going to do 2 rings. That's 4-1. Hitting it great. 1 ring great to the left. I think I might actually be able to get, if you catch it right, you can roll off of that hill, hit the rock. If I'd have been a little bit more to the right where I wouldn't hit the rock, I would have been down on the bottom. You can get on there, so like depending on the clubs that you have, and a big topper works really good right there because you got to pull back from the red line in that spot. If you did max overpower with a 5 power ball, I guess if you had tailwind you could get over to the other side, but since you have to pull back in order to open up this fairway, your big topper comes into play. And with a bigger ball, the deal is that, and we'll go look at the picture. Let's see if my opponent can get down there. It looks like it might be on the right track. Yeah, they got the, yep. Ooh, it's going to roll all the way to the bottom. Nice. Nice. That's all it takes. That's all it takes right there. Right there. Yes, sir. Getting on in one. That's always good. Go one backspin. Oh, that was 7,000 rings. Great. 7,000 rings. All right, that's how to play hole number one. So hole number one is definitely, let me make some notes here. So typically the first day that I go out and I practice, I'm not worried about any percentages. I'm not worried about any shots to the cup or any of that stuff. My main thing is what clubs do I want to bring out? And I definitely want to bring it out so that I can play a big topper. And a power 3 ball right there worked. I think if it was headwind, I still could have, I might have to bring out a power 4 ball, but that is the deal. Plus, let's say plus 10. Now, let me go look at that hole. I want to, here's what I was looking at. The problem area is not on this, on the setup here. So if we brought out a power 5 ball and did max overpower, I suppose you might be able to get over there if you had tailwind. If you had headwind, I don't think it's possible, but if you had tailwind, I suppose it is, where you could get over, where you get bounce number 1, and that means bounce number 2 is going to be out in this area, and you have a little more control over it. The deal is, if you're using your big topper, let's see if we can scroll back just a little, get the tee box. So if we draw, here's the tee box. We're coming off in this angle right here. And we've got bounce number 1 and bounce number 2, where bounce number 2 is out here. If I put, I need this tail up here. It's coming off in this direction to waggle to come to the right. And so if I got bounce right here, number 1, and I put curl on it, by the time I get out here, it's fine on bounce number 1, but by the time I get to bounce number 2, the bounce number 2 is right along this stretch. And there was very little room here. But if I put on just enough curl to get me to that spot, it's not enough. I'm going to go where that rock's at. So what my opponent did, where they just barely dribbled it. You can see, like, if you can get over onto that rough even a little teeny bit, this hill is so damn steep that you'll roll out down here to the bottom. So just like getting yourself up into this area, even though your ball guide's going in this direction, if you can just get yourself to the point where you're up here at the top, it will roll back down. And everything here is going to roll to the right. I suppose on a hole like this, the deal is that you do have, now I brought out a power 3 ball and I put my red line like in this area. So from the tee box, if we do our arc, you know, if we're over in here on this side, our red line's going to be right up in here. And we do have a nice, clean, wide open space, and we have a lane to run down with no obstacles in our way. We probably could set up a max overpower hook shot here. It looks kind of weird, but this is because of the shadow that's coming out there on it. But the fairway is actually, this shadowy part, it looks like rough, but it's actually, we do have a nice little lane there if you wanted to come along from this way and start off over here. So if you had an APOC, I suppose that could be the way, trying to get that shot right there in. This shot right here doesn't, it may get you to this spot, but I think the run right there, we're just running your topspin using your big topper. Everybody's got a big topper, and you can bring out a bigger power ball to get into that spot. And It might work. It might work. All right, hole number 2. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Shit, I don't even know what it is. Hole number 2. Seems like there's a rough bump that we can do here. And this might be a hole where we need to have a guardian. Or not a guardian, but a Goliath. Seems like we just played this hole not too long ago. Qualifying round, hole number 2. Hole number 2, we're going to practice it. Today is a practice day. We're trying to make notes today, so it says Sniper Nav. Phantom Mansion. I don't know how this works for the Phantom Mansion. I should look it up. These holes must be from other... I'm not sure if this is all one. I have played this game for how long, and I don't remember tours. You can get out there on the hole and remember. It seems like there was a rough bump that we could do in here. I'm going to try them out. I'm just going to move it around and see if there's a spot where the ball guide's running halfway through. There was a little spot right up in here. Alright. I guess not. I guess not. Now, I played this hole. Let's switch that ball up. And we'll go back to a navigator. I'm going to have to look up this hole. I'm going to have to do some research on this hole because I do remember this hole now when it came out, and the second time we played this hole, I figured out something on it and was really making hole-in-ones. Like I was pissed off when I got to this hole and I didn't make a hole-in-one, and there was a spot you set up in that spot, and then you work out the wind, make that adjustment. But I cannot remember where that spot is. I'll have to look it up. We'll just play it. I was kind of hoping there was a rough bump there. It's a dangerous ass place to do a rough bump, but we shall see. 1.1 times. We'll switch balls to a navigator. We'll switch to a sniper. Is it a sniper? Sniper and a nav? Now, there's no way. All right. I'm at max club. 2.7 divided by 0.9, 3.3 rings. Three and a third. Getting it perfect. See if we can get it even close. 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 Should have been. I did 10% there. I did 10%. I should have did 10% plus 10 plus 0.1. And I was in Grizzly actually. Grizzly. 0.9. All right. We got some notes. I got something. At least I know what club to bring to the hole, so I don't have to fish around. Then the next time I play, then I'll really start worrying about trying to get it in the cup. is this hole not ringing a bell? I'm like looking at that picture and it's not doing anything for me. There's several holes that come to mind, but I'm like looking at it, trying to think like, where the hell did we hit on this hole? I'm drawing a mind blank. Maybe when we get out there, it'll be better. It'll all come back to me. Hole number 3, the par 5. I think on this hole we were bringing out a big power ball and trying to land on this area and actually trying to run it through this and end up on the other side over here. Now you can come out into here and try and curl it around to try and bring it over into that side, and you can get it pretty close. But I am not going to bring out a big power ball today. But that is one way to do it. You can go straight. Depending on your clubs, you know, like how much topspin, like if you have a topspin boost ball to help you get through that rough. The one thing I will say is that you can overshoot in that center area, but the wind carries a lot. So like on a day like today with the wind carrying, you can see, you know, if you're trying to get over to the other side, and we brought out a bigger power ball, you know, we could get over right there. Shit, I'm 5 rings away from the sand, but the way that the wind's blowing, it might actually push me into the sand. So make sure you try and set yourself up on the side if you're trying to go straight forward, so that if you do get pushed forward, it won't get you caught in the sand. I'm going to switch to my number 5 bag, and we will. Let's see if we can set up a max curl shot and get us in the same area. I need like 4 rings of separation. I'm gonna leave the wind in. Yeah, I'm gonna wait, and I'll set that shot up and take it, and we'll see if we can get around the bend. See if we can get around it. Now, if you don't have an APOC, you could use, you could bring out a quarterback or a rock or something that's got a lot of curl. Might have to bring out a bigger ball. What club is my opponent in? They're in rough iron. They moved it 1 ring. And they should come in on the left. Hitting it perfect. Close. Close. Yeah, they're closer than I thought. Or they took some wind off, or they did something. Alright, I'm going to go this way. We're going to do 1 less than max. 1.1 times 3.9 divided by 1.5. 2.86 rings. Got all that on. I'm going to do 4 rings off that transition on the left-hand side. 2.86 rings. There's 2.9. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if I can work my way around the bend, or if I need to come in. I was 4 rings off, and see if I need to come in or if I need to go out. I caught the slide. And man, I was close on that first bounce down there. You can see how far that ball carried, leaving the wind in. Way down there. All right, let's see what kind of shot we have from here. We're in Kingfisher. There's minimum. There's max. And there's mid. I'm at like 3/4. It's 3.6 divided by 1.4. 2.57 rings. 2.57. Ah! We'll never know. And I did that straight up. I didn't take off. I didn't take off any wind. I didn't add on any. I just did it straight up. And I was like in 3/4 club, and max is 1.1 and mid is 1.6. So the spread between these is 0.5. I divided that by 2. That's 2.5. I added that onto the 1.1. That gave me 1.35, and I rounded that up to 4. So I did a 1.4 pull. I think that was pretty. That would have been pretty freaking close. Pretty close. Pretty close. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? I guess we're just gonna go find out. I tried to hit the back, but I got somebody so fast. I guess we're just gonna go find out. It's a par 3. It's a par 3. Making some notes here on that last hole. There's several ways to play the drive. It just depends on what kind of resources you want to expend. Wow, here is the deal. There's max. I'm right at minimum club. And I don't like this hole at all. Just wondering if I got back here, if there's a sticky spot. I got 1 and 1. I think I might take that with my Grizzly and get a little bit better. If you're down in that hollow having to put that much backspin on it, and because you're down low on the first bounce, here we, yep, they're taking it with the Grizzly as well. Let's see how much they pull. It's pretty close to max. They did 4 and a little. 3.9 divided by 0.9 would be 4.33 if they did a straight up shot. It does look a little downhill to me. I mean, if we talk about that mythical elevation thing, like theoretically we should have to be, we should be adding a little wind on. But I'm going to take a straight up shot. Straight up, just wherever I'm at. Okay, I'm in max club, so it's 3.9 divided by 0.9, 4.33, same as my opponent. I'm going to be 5 rings off that sand at the +5 mark. What kind of spin do I got on there? I got 1 top and 1 left. 3.9, 4.33 rings. There's 4.33. Hitting it perfect. And definitely pushed me off. Definitely. Like, probably, shit, maybe 20%. +20. Let's try that next time. It's better. I'd rather go overboard and end up on the other side of it and then know that, hey, it's less than 20. All right, and I'm doing and that was in a Grizzly. Grizzly. Let's see what ball I used. I probably had that freaking Titan on and I forgot to change it. I did. So I took that with a Titan. If I'd have brought out a smaller ball, I'd have been, is that right? No, I was at max. So I'm going to play it with a Titan. I think I had a little bit of room. I was at the +5 mark. 5 rings off. All right. The one thing about setting it up, at least I got 5 miles an hour. So if the wind was, like in this situation, if the wind was blowing like this, I gave myself 5 rings on the left-hand side, so I would be able to work out some wind before I got to an obstruction, sand in this case. Hole. What hole are we on? Hey, get off that. We are on hole number 5. Let's go look at hole number 5 before we get out there. Once again, this isn't hole number 5. Is this the same picture we had just a second ago? It's the same hole? Oh, there we go. There we go. I actually can't remember. Can't remember if we're trying to, is this a par 4 or a par 5? It's a par 4, so there might be a way to get up there. I can't remember looking at that picture. I don't know if it's the colors or I have no idea. No idea. If I can get an opponent. If. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. Everybody's out there playing. Our clan is in that. Our clan goes from Masters 1 to Masters 2. And then in Masters 2, it's, you know, sometimes we'll make it a month we won't get relegated or we won't get promoted, and we're in Masters 2 and we'll hang out, and then a month will come along and then we'll get relegated to Masters 1, and then we're up at the top and we get promoted to Masters 2. And so we're in that month where we got relegated to Masters 1 and we're in 5th place. So we're in the promotion zone to go back to Masters 2. So we got a little bit of a spread on the opponents. I think we're actually at 4th right now. Wow. Oh, that is not good. Let's see what our options are here. And that's a 3 power ball trying to get over to the other side, obviously. Just wondering if there's a way to can bring out a bigger power ball and get into that area. Try and do overpower on some days. Really probably need about 4 topspin. You have to change your topspin if you were going to overpower it, depending on the day. You need enough to get over, but you don't want enough so that when you get over to the other side, it keeps running. So right there was 5. And they're in long iron range for there, so if you just laid it up there, you're still in long iron range. I suppose if you get it all the way up into the front, you're in short iron. Short! Playdemic is a ball manufacturer, and you can see this hole right here is definitely, you can get into that spot over there. If you brought out a 5 power ball, you could get into that spot over there and you could pull yourself back and give yourself 2 or 3 rings away from the red line, so on headwind days you'd still be able to do that shot. Alright. We had like 5. really want to do like 4 with today's wind, like 3.5. I just barely want to get over. Okay, 2.5. I'm going to do 2 rings. That's 3. I want to pull away from that little area right there just a bit. Hit a 1 ring grate to the right. 1 ring grate on the outside. Something in that neighborhood. Now, if we had a headwind day, that shot's going to be much. You're going to have to put on more topspin in order to go through it to try and stretch your bounces out because the wind's compressing them. And you'd probably be better served to bring out that shot's going to be tough. It'd be better to just bring out a 5-power ball and on headwind days and try and set it up so you don't have to do any overpower. Shit, am I in mid club? There's max. I am in mid club. It's 3.6 divided by 1.6. 2.25 rings. 2 backspin. Let's do 3. I'm gonna do it straight up. 2.25 rings. There's 2, 2, 5. I'm gonna do 2, 3 just to push it back so it was right at the flagpole. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Probably could have added on like plus 0.1 on that. Straight up plus 0.1. It's a draw. All right, there you go. There's one way to play it. Trying to remember. Hole number 6. What is hole number 6? What is it? All right. Now, it seems like we were playing on the inside. Like, why would we go all the way to the outside on this? It seems like we were playing this path here as opposed to trying to bring it around and do this. I think you could lay it up out here, but and I'm not sure, just depending on which ball you were bringing out, whether we could get all the way over to the green side or if we were just shooting for this. We'll see. We'll see. I think that might be it. Let's see what we can get done with the Titan. The king of balls. That's right. You heard it here. Jammer. This tournament's sponsored by Titan. I think it was just trying to lay it up down there on the end, not trying to go for it to that other fairway. Although with some of the new topspin boost balls and with tailwind, and if you've got the clubs to really stretch it out there, it might be. This is one of those ones too. If you get to like my opponent's not all the way to the end, but that's as far as you want because it really drops off hard. Like it was dropping off hard as they were going down towards that area, but okay, there's the red line. I'm going to pull back. That gives me room on headwind days. I'm going to pull back a whole ring set. I'm at the +3 mark. Let's put all the topspin on. I could probably bring out extra mile. That way I can get a little more topspin. And we'll just throw it out there without doing anything special. 3-7. Add on 10%, that's 2 rings. That's 4-2. And I could have put the wind back in, but I just want to see, like, if we just go out there and we play that spot, where can we get to? Nice and easy. Now, there's got to be, shit, +2, +20. I mean, that is, we've got to be adding on some. I'm going to start at +20. I'm going to add on 20% because there's just I mean, the way this game works, there's no way we're hitting down that big of a slope and not adding some wind on. And we're not going to get a super good read today because the wind is blowing pretty, not quite due tailwind, but close. I have no idea what club I'm going to be in, but where I'm at in that club, we'll just work it. It's got to be. It is sniper. There's minimum sniper. There's max sniper. I'm going to do minimum sniper. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to pull forward a few rings. Just give myself a little room. .3 divided by 1.2. 3.3 rings. There's 3. Getting it perfect. Getting a hole. Be close. Not even close. I needed like one more backspin on it, and I really I'm not gonna make any. I'm gonna continue to do the 20%, even though it looks like it may be more, because I didn't have my speed right. And so when it came through there, if I'd had one more backspin on it, not only would it have slowed it down, but it would have pulled it more to the right. And so it came through there so fast it hit through the brake. You could see on my ball guide where it was curling at the very end of the run, and I hit through that. And so I needed to, if I would have been slower, I'm not so sure that wouldn't have been a lot closer to the cup. So I'm not going to make any, I'm going to do the 20 until I can get the speed right. Maybe. I'm going to write that down in my notes. What hole was that? That was hole number 6 plus 20. Plus 20 to the cup. Like I said, I'm not so sure that isn't more, but I'm going to write sniper here, and I'm in sniper. I'm at mid. I'm at min. So I added on 20%, and mid sniper's 1.2. So 1.2 times the wind divided by 1.2. So it just worked out to be 1-to-1. If that makes any sense. It makes sense if you're playing. My sister watched one of my videos one time, and she called me up and she goes, "That shit did not make any sense at all to me, what you were talking about. What the fuck were you talking about?" This is definitely one where we have a rough bump. For sure. That wind works good for us because it pulls us away from the sand. I think this is one of those holes where we have a rough bump, but if we have to pull, on the days we have to pull into the sand, we have to push back in like a half a ring. But on days when there isn't any wind, it works out good. I'm going to start off with a 10% because I think there is an adjustment, and I think it's at least 10%. We'll see. I got a power 1 ball. Maybe pretty close to min sniper if they did the rough bump. And there is no way. Look at where that second bounce is. Look at how close that second bounce is to that rough. So if they hit that ball great to the left, it's going to clip the rough right there, and they'll probably come out of it. But man, they're putting everything into play. And the whole goal is to take shit out of play. I was hitting so bad the other day, and right there. It's not a big deal if you got upper developed stuff. These types of shots are makeable, but when you got lower developed stuff, those little shots like that eat your fucking lunch and ruin your whole round. Okay, I'm at minimum with a Titan. I'm gonna do just 1-to-1. I was going to add on a little. Well, here, 3.5 divided by 1.2. I added on 10%. 3.2 rings. Alright, bitch. Alright. Are you going to let me take the shot? No, it's not going to let me take the shot. I guess we have to do that all over again. Damn it. Having fun's turn. I'm going to give a shout out to all the guys in the, all the players in our clans that had top 5s, top 10s last week. I can't remember everybody's name, but I'm giving you all a shout out. In the hole. Birdie. Alright. Let's be quick about it this time. 4.5 divided by 1.2. 4.12 rings. .12 rings. Okay, there's 4, 1. Hitting it perfect. And I added on 10, and I needed to add on a little bit more. I needed to add on the 20. You can see where it pushed me into that rough. The rough is coming through like this with the sand. This is sand. And I set up dead center in the middle where I was at, and it pushed me back. So when I came through there, I was at the quarter mark. So it definitely pushed me off. So like maybe another 10% would be good. Especially where I came out on the other side, I definitely didn't pull it enough. Make a note here. Let's make a note. Let's make a note on that one. 20% to the cup. That was hole number 7. Plus 20 to the cup. Alright. Got some notes on that one. And that was with a sniper and a Titan. Hole number 4. Or hole number 8, excuse me. That ambulance came by, it screwed me all up. Got me all discombobulated. I think this is... Let's go see. Let's go see. Let's go see what we can get. It seems like we were playing to the right and trying to lay it up all the way down on the end, but I'm not so sure that was what we were doing. It's good to come at these holes when we play them, especially some of these older holes, and really take a fresh look at them with some of the newer balls. Come out here and do this when you're practicing and be willing to, you know, time out on a shot, and so you can really kind of see what you could get with some of your ball inventory and not really waste them, but at least get a look at it and go, hey, it might be worth, nah, it's not even worth taking that shot. I suppose if you had enough speed going through there, they might have rolled out of that. Okay, what do we got here? What do we have? So the smart thing to do is to just lay it up right here and then take that shot. And I don't think we have any shot. I mean, that's a big ass, I mean, maybe a max overpower hook shot, but that's a lot of curl. You can do about 45%, so with an APOC. So I mean, you might be able to get that if you could start off, especially if you could start off in this little pocket right here with a bigger power ball, so you could cut the angle just a little bit. I'm going to try and go for it. I'm going to try and get on and just see with a Titan if I use the wind, if I got a better roll than my opponent, if I could actually get on in one. See if my opponent can make it. Hopefully they miss. Hopefully. Well, they want to make it. It is the tournament. They're trying to qualify. Maybe they're trying to qualify. Maybe they're not. All right. Here we go. Getting out on the course. Okay, I'm going to do that right there. I'm going to take the wind out. I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in. And we'll see if I can make the first bounce. Nope. I think if you had a toss and boost ball, you might be able to blast yourself through that and get onto the green side. You could get your bounces right up there so that you could bounce over that. It is possible. And I think even the shot from the, I mean, if you went for it, the downside, the you know, risk versus reward, the risk is that you'll end up getting caught in the rough or the sand. We're super close like this. The reward is that you make it over, and all you have is a short little pitch. And this shot right here is, if you hit it perfect, it goes in the hole. And that was not perfect. That was not. That might be worth it. Especially with different ball inventory. So if we brought out a ball that had some, where we could stretch out those bounces, go back and watch that video and really pay attention to the bounces. And sometimes bringing out a bigger ball is not the thing to do. So like maybe in that situation, bring out a bigger ball with tops. Maybe you only need to bring out a bigger ball. You don't need to bring out a bigger ball and toss and boost. Or maybe you need to bring out a 3 power ball with toss and boost, not a 4 power ball with toss and boost. So you have to go practice that with your clubs if you wanted to try and get over. But I think it is possible to get over there. And like I said, you know, if you're going for it, if anywhere in this area, you're going to be able to make it and recover. So there's not a lot of risk. The flip side of that coin is that if you can land yourself into the, even if you just bounce yourself over to this spot every time, or this spot every time, you can perfect that shot, and you're in a very similar spot every time. Whereas when you try and go for it, you're going to end up in a different spot every time. The ones that are over here are fine. All right, what's the next hole? What is hole number 9? What do we have in store for us? It seems to me that we were trying to hit over into this area. I'm not so sure we weren't trying to hit straight forward so that we could get maximum distance here and have a nice clean shot for the cup. But from over here, you definitely might have some different types of shots. You might have a rough bump from over here that you don't have from over here, but you definitely are in better club range if you can get all the way up to the tip. I think this is where we were hitting, is up to the tip. Let's go see. Now, there might be a shot on the other side where you're hitting, trying to get in front of the spot that I was pointing out, trying to get through that rough down to the lower fairway. Here. Let's see if we can get it done. I'm going to do a pro scouting report when I get done with this. I'm going to call Dunner and see if Dunner wants to play tonight. I tried to get a hold of him yesterday, but I couldn't get a hold of him. I think this is the way. I'm just going to try and hit it out there. I'm going to see if I can hit it, if I can overhit it. I'm going to pull back just a little. See where the fairway is, where I'm at in that pocket with a 3 power ball? I'm going to try and center myself up so I'm 2 rings off on the bottom. That's +7. 2, 6. And I'm just going to take the wind out. There's 2, 6. And just try and hit the ball forward, and we'll see what club range we're in. We'll see if it's worth the effort to try and get any farther forward. Or if if we got all the way up there on the cut line, if we would be in a different club. If it's the difference between minimum short iron and maximum short iron and minimum long iron, it might be worth the effort. It might be one of those things where you bring out a bigger ball, not necessarily for the first shot, but the second shot. It would help you on the first shot because it'd get you farther in that pocket. But on the second shot, it would... and that's what I'm talking about, is getting, instead of trying to lay it up here, trying to get all the way down onto that next fairway. Then you might have a shot of actually going for it. That's where a toss and boost ball over there might come in really handy. This hole is definitely worth looking at if you wanted to blow some ball inventory. Because if he'd have got that bounce right there, that second bounce on that fairway instead of in the rough, it would have launched into that rough and then carried. Okay, I'm at max grizzly, so getting a little bit farther forward. Now this wouldn't be a bad hole to bring a Goliath on, because you could probably get up there with a Goliath. So it's 2 times 3.9 divided by 0.9, 5.2 rings. There's 5.2. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if we can get it in or get it close. I did a 20% extra on that, and I probably needed to do a 30. And I was in grizzly. Now from where I was at, I was right there, so like on headwind days, I would have had to, it would have hampered my grizzly shot. If I had a Goliath there, I would have been able to do the rough bump, and on headwind days it gives me a little bit more breathing room with the 3 power ball. So either change clubs or hit a little bit farther or bring out a little bit bigger ball, just to make sure in the second shot you're in your wood or your long iron. I think the rough bump right there, like depending on, especially you could work your angle so you could enhance that rough bump and make it so that you had a really good angle at it, that rough bump down there is actually, might be the way to go. The one thing I don't like about that rough bump is there's a lot of, it's a long ways away from the cup, and there's a lot of terrain for it to roll through. So I mean, if it was possible to do the rough bump there with the Goliath, the ball is going to go through a lot of movement before it gets to the cup. Lots. Eagle. I should have forfeited. What was I thinking? I should have. Wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even paying attention. I might have qualified today. I wasn't paying attention to what the scores were, and I was just been playing, and I should have, if I qualify with a 7, I mean, come on. I must have been in a practice bracket. There we go. Good. I wasn't paying attention, and then I started thinking, holy shit, I'm on the 9th hole. I might have just screwed myself. Good. I didn't. There we go. There is a There is a practice round, scouting report all in one. I looked at the pictures, but I don't know if it's the, I don't know. I don't know how many, I don't know what course that is, or if they've mixed in holes from different courses. The color of the courses, I don't know what the deal is. It's throwing me off. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. I'm going to do a pro, I'm going to go grab something to drink, and I'm going to come back out and shoot a pro video today, and then go from there. And I will see you on the next one. Stay safe.